sometimes they over prep. I'm noticing. Like,
All right, welcome to THL Friday Night Fights, coming at you hot and heavy with some Battlegrounds mess. Super good update that happened, I think, this week. I think Tuesday. I can't remember 100%. It's been a long week, as I'm sure it's been a long week for everybody out there. We got two casters that are helping us tonight. We got Mr. Corden and Dr. Fish. How you guys doing?
Doing well, doing very well. Excited to
Doing
finally
well.
be back in Battlegrounds. Had a little bit of a hiatus there for, well, I guess just a week, but Sunday we had to skip because of the new, or no, we were on Sunday, right?
Yeah, we were on Sunday.
I don't know why I thought the
It was Steffi.
Schwacky Sunday skipped it, but no, it did not. Never mind.
You guys share your screen too when you get sick to Corden?
Never. My stuff is my stuff.
It's secret, I know.
It's question marks, like that card back that I refuse to do because it's too much work.
Oh god. All right, so I'm just gonna introduce the teams real quick, and then you guys can start ripping because I haven't been checking, or actually, if Dr. Fish can keep an eye on the lobby.
Of course.
I'll rip through the teams real quick. So we got Bounty Hunters bringing Andraste and Jump Float. We got F2L Silver bringing Mr. THL Loomer and Blue Sombrero. We got Bob's Babes with Steffi and Riots. And then the final team that's on is Phantom Fighters is Aurelia FBM2 slash Valera. Then we have Rice Bowl partner.
Oh.
Alright, so what's our status there, Fish?
Andraste has a friends list bug. He's restarting, and then the lobby will very likely get made.
Andraste added me to the Battlegrounds game, so that was great. Maybe later, bud.
Oof.
If I was on the winning squad,
we just missed out. It was a bummer,
sorry,
but it's the way the cookie crumbles. No, this is going to be exciting. So this is the final week of semifinals.
Yep.
So the top 2 teams are going to move on to face Lemurs and Concedure match. And I believe it's just a 1 week, or it might be a 2-week final. I can't remember.
It's going to be a 2-week final according
Is it a
to
2-week
Beast.
final as well?
Yeah. She said
So,
Go ahead.
yeah. Oh, we'll just say we'll do the same thing then as we're doing for the semis right now. But then that one is only the top team will win, not the top 2.
Yeah. Got some. I don't know if anybody's got any predictions going out there, but it's the way the players have been playing the last week and going into this week. There's some roster because Zerelia and Rice Bowl played Sunday last time. Now they're playing. The rest is pretty standard.
Yeah, it could be something like you've seen Steffi and Riots have played most Friday nights as well. Clearly, because Steffi is casting on Sundays, so typically it's a good shot. Blue Sombrero, I think subbed out last week, possibly, or was on a Sunday.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so could have something to do there. Phantom Force is currently 1 point behind Bob's Bay, pulling up last place, but it's kind of the way that these matches work, that any big points, if Zerelia and Rice Bowl can put together like a first and a second in a couple games, and hopefully F2L or Bob's Bounty Hunters, if their fingers are crossed, scores a little lower, then we could see some standing jumping. But from what the scores look like right now, with Bob's Bounty Hunters at 55 and F2L, 9 points behind them, I don't really see Bounty Hunters getting caught in a bad position right now.
Yeah, I agree with that assessment with the standings. I mean, I want to see a big week for these other teams to keep it close. Obviously, going into Sunday, we'll see. I think Bob Bounty Hunters are just in a great spot where they have such a large buffer to just make the finals, even if they're the second, even if they're the 4th team to get in, they're still in.
Yeah, returning champions too, so they definitely have the most to lose, I guess, on the line. You'd love to see the repeat champions, and they're actually chasing Concede Your Match, which were the runner-up last year, who have eked into that first bye week. So that would be fun to see. And everyone's, I think, favorites for the season, Lemurs, taking that number 1 seed overall and getting a nice 2-week hiatus. So it's going to be, I think it's really going to be between these bottom 3. It's going to be if F2L can capitalize on having Lemur and Blue Sombrero in this lobby right now. And we're going to have to see if like Steffi and Riots and Zerelia and Rice Bowl can, put it down and charge into battle, if you would.
Mm-hmm.
New update, as Saku was alluding to earlier, it's all about board control now, baby. So Quillboars just released, for everyone who wasn't aware. New race that is actually going to be in 100% of the time. So there's still going to be 5 races, or I guess tribes, I don't know, races, but that are going to be in Battlegrounds. So 3 are going to rotate out. Quillboars will always be one of those 5, so then we're going to have another 4 rotating in. And I don't know if you guys have been playing around with it, but Quillboars are good.
Never played yet, so I guess
No,
I played one lobby.
Yeah. So I'm gonna need to learn how to play BGs after this. So next season, I'll probably be on some.
Nice.
Maybe.
Nice, man. Oh, it's a great time. I have pulled myself from I guess from when the MMR reset, not MMR, but the rankings reset. I've gotten up to 4,500 so far, so I've been climbing a bit, but
Wow.
probably nowhere near where these combatants are at. But I've been getting some, some firsts, some seconds, a lot of 7ths and 8ths, but that's just kind of the way the cookie crumbles.
Oh, I think we're waiting on blue.
No
Okay.
worries.
Yeah. I'm just like perusing the chat, and it looks like that's the case.
Yeah, that's all right.
We're not. We'll get started pretty soon.
So what I've seen in the meantime is let's talk heroes. So there are
Okay.
3 brand new heroes that have come out. Zyrelia, as the player is also now a hero. So, that's got to be on brand for them to take if they get the option.
Sure.
You've got is it Death Stalker, Death Knight, Lodi guy?
Death Speaker, Blackthorn.
There's the one. And then Vol'jin.
Yes.
In my honest opinion, Vol'jin and Blackstalker are not very good. They're good. Blackthorn is good when you don't have early game blood gem generations, and when you're taverning up, it's similar to an Omu, where when you tavern up, instead of getting 2 gold to use, you can actually just get 2 blood gems. Now, the biggest difference with that being from Omu is you can't carry your gold over with Omu as you can with your blood gems. So you don't even need to use those blood gems early on. If you want to just hold and maybe wait for a bonk or wait for the banner boar or something like that, or the 2-man or the divine shield 4/3. So there's a lot of difference with that. Now, Vol'jin is very interesting because it's a 0 mana hero power, which is extremely rare to see them come out right off the bat with a 0 mana hero power. But it's actually just straight up swap the stats of 2 minions. And it does not have to be 2 friendlies. It's any minions on the board at all. So that's a very interesting concept. I know a lot of people were banging around early the idea of, get a Battle Master up to like a 595 and then swap it with the poisonous spore. So then you've got a 595 poison spore, which like doesn't die to anything except other poison. So hopefully some of the combatants, now you only get those new heroes if you do have the battle pass from last season. If not, then they just still get the regular amount of people. But there's been a bit of a meta shift, I would say. A few of the heroes of old aren't necessarily, I guess, standing strong. A few notable ones are actually Patches. Patches the Pirate, I think, was always somebody, probably an A-tier hero that a lot of people like to go. And now with people trying to force through Quillboars so much and the power level of Quillboars, Patches has really fallen off to the wayside. What do you think about that, Fish?
I don't think I think you're right. There has been quite a meta shift. And a lot of it just comes down to the fact that people are trying to get to the higher. People are starting to level a bit more to try and get to the to like the more higher tiered Quillboars that you're looking for, because a lot of things, because like Quillboars being the best comp makes it it being so much better than most other comps is going to make it highly contested. So I'm very interested to see how the lobbies play out due to that. I know in my lobby, like I played one lobby, and I think 6 of us were going for Quillboars. But I'm also curious to see if anyone tries to go for like a Murloc, for like either like a poison comp or a Murloc poison comp, which generally does well against Quillboars.
Yeah, no, that Purloc Moisen. Wow, Purloc Moisen. There you go, boys.
Man,
there's one for you. That Murloc Poison, as you alluded to, is really how people will just honestly transition late game into those like 2 mana or like 2/3 poison divine shields, right? So that's a reason why you see George the Fallen is up high in the tier list right now. George the Fallen is, give a friendly minion divine shield. When you can just point and click a divine shield on something and then you're able to give it poison, that clearly has got to be one of the best characters up there. I know George was always bouncing around the C/D tier. Poison Murlocs isn't really a new thing, but with how massive and strong Quillboars can get, it's almost a necessity at this
Yeah.
rate.
Yeah.
Another one I'm very interested to see, who's been doing extremely well for themselves, but sometimes in lobbies gets smashed, is Forest Warden Omu.
Yeah.
Now, any hero that has the ability to gain additional gold, so that's Omu as well as Barov, male Barov. I know his name.
Lord
Don't
Barov.
do this. Lord Barov.
He is the Lord, yes.
Any way to get additional gold to buy up the finite amount of Quillbore pool that there is always good. But I also find that in lobbies such as this, and this is just from my experience playing during the season, is when you pick Omu and you don't hit a very strong start to like keep yourself safe, people tend to just smash you. And you're taking, 5, 6, 7 damage over 3, 4 turns. Before you know it, you have 10 health left on turn 8 as Omu. And really, your power leveling and your extra gold has gotten you nowhere. But I think right now, outside of that, Cthulhu is your number one because it's such a straightforward hero to play at the moment. I mean, 2 mana, buff your board infinitely is always going to be a very easy one to select for sure.
Yeah. I mean, Omu was always like one of the best couple of heroes in that top 5 range at least. But now, like, seeing pick rates in like the 70s as I look at the stats, the highest, I'm gonna say the highest pick rate hero in the entire game right now and has over a better than 4 average placement. Like, yeah, Omu's just nuts. It's just the nuts right now. And there's other really, like, seeing even like Maiev still hanging in there with dragons is something that as like a top hero is pretty cool. I'd like to see how what type of heroes we see picked by our competitors, by these people. Yeah.
Yeah, Maiev rolls into that same like gold abusing style, right? The 1 mana, make it dormant, and in 2 turns you get it to your hand with the +1 attack. +1 attack I think is okay. It's not really why you're doing it. It's buying a minion for 1 gold. That's really what you're doing. You're essentially cheating the system in that you don't have to pay 3. And typically, if it's like something like a Celemental or the Freelooter, it's free gold at the end of the day, especially if you don't have anything good to hero power on outside of the tavern. If you just hero power that, you've essentially netted yourself 2 gold, which down the line can be beneficial.
Yeah, so update. I think we're going to be starting any minute, like in the next couple of minutes. At least for game 1, we're probably only going to have 7. Oh, nope. We have Oh, no, never mind. Blue is here, so we have everybody. Cool. Okay. We were about to have to start without Blue because of it was going to be 15 minutes past, but he has arrived, so we're good.
It was tight, but there he goes, getting in there in at the link of time. Good to see. You never want to get into the semifinals down a person. That would have spelled disaster for F2L. I can't imagine, getting the first 8th. I just fighting for that second spot. I don't know. That's fine. We'll get in here soon.
Oh yeah.
So outside of, I suppose, what hero do you think that's maybe not top tier? That's probably places that top 4. Who do you think we might see as not some of those big name heroes we've been talking about?
I think Millhouse is still going to be a player, even though Millhouse sometimes has like the cavern tier costing more. Always seems to be able to at least make a decent way in here. It looks like we're gonna get started here any second, so we'll be looking for the eyeballs. I think they're in. Sounds so. But yeah, I think that like Millhouse will be pretty good. gonna go ahead
Millhouse
and-
again goes for that style of abusing the gold. You get to buy the minions for a lot cheaper. Someone who I've actually played a bit with who's been good is Ticketus, who still
Yeah.
has the prizes. So
Yeah, that sounds really good with Gold Boars.
yeah, so it can definitely catapult you in the right direction. All right, so we are jumping in here. I am on Rice Bowl to begin with.
I am
we-
on blue to
Okay.
start with.
Perfect.
We're gonna spectate Corden first, if you guys can hear me.
All
Yep,
good.
we
can hear.
gotcha.
If you want to explain to the viewers how we are doing things, that'd be great.
Absolutely. So, right off the bat, we're on Rice Bowl here. He has chosen Kel'Thuzad, but we're going to stick with him for, 3 to 4 turns just to get used to seeing his face. And then right after that, we're going to switch over to Fisha's side, who is currently spectating Blue Sombrero at this moment for 3 to 4 turns. Then I'll jump onto somebody else, see, someone who might be hitting a power turn, someone who might be undefeated, things like that. And we'll just keep swapping back and forth until we have a winner. So, real quick rundown. These first couple turns, I always say, are a little boring and monotonous. Out right now is Elementals, Beasts, and Dragons. So we will be seeing Quillboars, Pirates, Murlocs, Mechs, and Demons. Gonna let this combat roll through, and then we will run through the heroes once everyone's settled down in their specific spots. All right, coming in number 1, Andraste on Rafam. You've got Jump Float on Death Speaker, Blackthorn. Rice Bowl on Kel'Thuzad, or Kel'Thas. I always say Kel'Thuzad. Steffi on Reno Jackson. Riots on Tess. Blue Sombrero on Patches. FBM2 on Zephyrs. And THA Lima on Omu. Right off the bat, Fish, man, I'm seeing some high-tiered heroes.
I am. Yeah, we're seeing Rafam, we're seeing Blackthorn. Tess is a lot better now that Quillboars are in because you want if everybody's going for that, you could just get what your opponent has, and that's why Tess is really good right now. Reno is one of my favorites. Patches is also still up there, as well as Omu being like first or second best depending on what you're looking at.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm happy we get to see the Omu. It's going to be interesting to see how Lemur plays on it. Getting a quick win there against Patches is good. But right now, Rice Bowl is on the Kel'Thas. Kel'Thas's hero power is every third minion you buy is going to get a +1/+1, as we just saw fire off on that Micro Mummy. So getting the token there on turn 1 was actually pretty key for Rice Bowl. What it allowed him to do was to Tavern up on turn 2, which is very standard, and then on turn 3 actually sells the token and is able to double buy. And that double buy actually is super beneficial because he gets the Leaper to then buff into his Micro Money. So Rice Bowl getting off to a pretty strong start, and probably going to be hitting for not too crazy hard, but definitely going to be dealing some damage here early on.
Steffi getting the best possible hits there to only take 4.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. There we do see one of the new characters, the Road Boar.
2 Road Boars.
Yeah, so Frenzy is the keyword as it is in Baron. So Frenzy is gain a blood gem. So essentially, for all who don't know, blood gems are the new banana. There you go, Ron. They're the new banana. It's +1/+1 to whatever minion you choose to play it on. So in this case, the Road Boar needs to survive the damage, so take 3 or less, and it will generate a blood gem, which will come to your hand, which then you can play next turn, or you can hold on to them. They're very similar to the coin. Well, they're literally bananas if anyone's ever played Mukla, whereas you just have this +1/+1 in your hand. But finding a pair here is going to be pretty good. If Rice Bowl is able to triple, and it does survive, 8 health early on is pretty survivable. And it's actually going to give 2 blood gems. So here we do see that first one popping off, and here's the blood gem as promised. Gave a friendly minion +1/+1, and this is really what Quillboars roll around.
Yeah. And Lemur off to a bit of a slower start with levels. generally Omu can be like tier 3 by now. I'm gonna guess he might level up here.
Might have got a bit of an awkward start. Sometimes on Omu, if you don't find that token, you can be in a bit of an awkward leveling, but might also just be taking it slow with Omu and you know, not trying to power level and just trying to survive, because we actually did see a decently sized board on the side of Lemur.
Yes, that is very true. I know he got blue in he got his teammate in his second round.
So maybe
so that might have been made it a bit awkward, but but that was interesting because he opted to have like a bigger board and actually ended up winning, where there was maybe a possibility of a tie if the board maybe wasn't as big.
Yeah. Early on, the ties are all.
Sometimes that happens. Yeah.
Early on, the ties are all right. It's not the end of the world if you don't tie your opponent, because really, you're not pushing that much damage on turn 4 or 5. It's really when you're looking at turn 8 and 9 when you can push it up to 10 and 11 damage. Oh my! So Rice Bowl actually did opt to use. I was wondering if they were going to hold. If he was going to hold the third buy on the Kel'Thas hero power, but does go in on the Harvest Golem, making it a 4/5. Hopefully can do amends here, but there are some big Wrathweavers on the other side for Andraste.
Gonna actually be able to.
Okay, it's gonna be a tie. Fair enough.
The hits went favorably for Andraste, and he was able to take a tie.
Okay, we're gonna switch over to Fisha's view. So.
All right. So I'm on blue, and he's tier 4 and has just tripled into a Nat Pagel. So he's going for pirates as he is patches. At 30, sitting at 33 health, so sitting right in the middle of our lobby. Yeah. Just gonna wait out and see what type of positioning blue's gonna want against Zyrella.
Yeah, so it is interesting. I know I said earlier how Patches has fallen down because people are trying to, push towards a Quilboar, but it also kind of opens up the entire board for a hero like Patches. No one's going to be touching pirates, really. So at the end of the day, not only can Patches discover the hero power pirates, but should also be able to discount it and buy all the pirates they really want to.
Yeah. The one thing that I think the reason why we're not seeing as many pirate comps is because pirates, and it all depends on how you play the game. Like what type of place you're trying to play for. Because if you're playing for something like top 4 with Patches, you can easily get that with the pirates. But if you're playing for a win, it might be a bit tougher just because of how difficult it is to beat massive Quilboars in the late game.
Oh, and that Death Rattle is going to give Blue Sombrero the win. Yes. Very nice. And Patches actually, Nat Pagel actually giving him an Alnoyotron. Interested to see if he picks up a mech maybe to slap that on. Double Salty Looter is great for Blue Sombrero here.
Mm-hmm. Fortunately, unable to find. Oh, nice. Fortunately, actually did find a pirate.
Oh yeah, and gets the free gambler.
Free dealing gambler.
I honestly like to hold on to the free gambler.
I think you hold it here for sure.
There's nothing really that you need to play it for. And maybe even now the decision is: does he want to play the Scallywag for the additional 1/1 on the Salties, or is he thinking of maybe just slapping this Annoyo module for a turn and then throwing it out? But actually, going to throw down the 3/3. That's fine as well. I guess it's better not being in your hand. Gets the buffs on the board. We will see. Blue Sombrero is coming into Andraste. So we'll see what is going on here. Very inquisitive about this Annoyo module. Oh, Andraste has found the new Cavern 6 Quilboar. That at the end of the turn will play a blood gem on all of your minions, regardless of trait. So trade's not going very favorably right now, and Blue Sombrero going to be taking a hefty 12
Yeah. Andrasi got the Chalga. So these every minion's gonna start getting buffed up, and man, if blue was going for Quill Boars, this would be such a hit with the with that dynamic duo there, but he's going for a pirate comp, so he's not super focused on the Quill Boars, which will serve him well. There's a Captain Hogger. Great
Captain Hogger
pickup.
and a triple, if they so choose to go towards it. I mean, you do have the golden hand when you sell these Murlocs and the Annoyotron.
Yeah.
Doesn't go for the triple.
He
Okay.
sold as one of them, yeah.
I wonder
Maybe
if that was
maybe he hits the triple here. Nope, hits a South Sea.
So I'm curious as to why we're holding the Annoya module, and the only thing I can think of is so we can fix a Amalgadon down the road.
That is my best guess.
Ooh, that is a strong arm, but I don't think we have the gold to get there.
Nope. So either gonna have to would have to do some major selling for that, and wouldn't end up with a full board.
Yeah. What I
So
do
it's
want to
not
see at
worth
some point is the deckhand, the 8/5 golden there needs to go very soon. I know a lot of
Agreed.
people tend to hold on to their goldens pretty early on, but
Mhm.
to be completely honest, that 8/5 is not doing much for you. It's just taking up board space. So
Yeah,
the sooner
agreed.
it goes, the better. And it actually puts 3 pirates back into the lobby. And there we do see a pretty full board on the side of Rice Bowl.
Yeah, we see a pretty nice Quill board.
Ooh, Nat Peggle going to the Divine Shield is
These banner
not going
boards
to
are
be
really
good.
good. Yeah.
This is going to be
This
a
is gonna
lot
be
of
it's a hefty win here for it's a pretty hefty win there for Rice Bowl with 12 damage. Blue is 1 hit away from dead, but Steffi is out.
Steffi is gone, and actually Blue took a very
gosh.
favorable trade there at the end, taking out the Tavern 6 captain to minimize that damage. Could have been at a much lower health total here, but as you said, Steffi has gone out in 8th place on Reno. Maybe didn't find the perfect golden button to slap down early on. So we are going to see Blue Sombrero does get a chance to go after this ghost, but already Tavern 5. This is usually when people would take an option to go up to Tavern up, but I mean, Patches is kind of where Patches wants to be.
Yes, I agree. Patches is where Patches wants to be. The only thing to go into 6 does is offer up like Eliza's and stuff like that, but it doesn't look like Blue's that interested right now in that.
Yeah, and just typically tripling into Eliza is a ton better than rolling down and trying to find, because really your gold as pirates is pretty finite. Even though you are getting the gold back with the Hogger, you're really not benefiting all that much from just rolling down.
So Blue's just maybe deciding if he wants to sell off that South Sea. Obstinate does get the triple in the shop, so we will see a freeze. And
got to be careful here because Steffi just went out last turn, so there is a chance that she is strong enough just to put Blue down here. So we'll have to see what happens on the board.
Steffi 13, so definitely not. Well, definitely has a chance to be like a decently sized Quill board, but this is definitely
it's a strong board.
Yeah, but it's just it's gonna work out
there, but
fine.
Blood gems are just sitting in a dead man's hand.
Yeah, not even warrior either.
No, mage.
True.
All right, so Blue Sombrero dodging the ever coveted ghost death, but unfortunately we'll probably have to go up against a pretty high ranked opponent here, and does pull Zephyrs.
Yeah, pull Zephyrs, and Zephyrs is quite good in Quill boards where you can get triples much easier. Blue is doing pretty okay for himself here. Finds another Ripsnarl and another Hogger. Has the option to triple here as well. Gonna play that out, I assume, first.
After this match, we'll flip over to Cordon's view.
Okay. Yeah, Blue's just going in right now.
Yeah, So the Nat Pagel keep here is kind of weird to me. You could have played like sold the Pagel and put Hogger out,
Find the boat.
which would have been able to.
I think you sell the Nat here for the boat.
I think Nat had to go a
No.
lot earlier. I think you've invested too
Okay.
much. Yeah, I don't. We could have had the second Hogger down, and we've sold our other Hogger.
Agreed.
It's weird because we could have sold the Pagel like we planned to, and that would have opened us to 5 spots. We could have played the second Hogger, and then all the pirates we were buying actually would have just gotten us. Well, really, we're buying pirates for 1 at that point. So this is going to be a tough one. A bit late to pivot into these snarl hides, and with no Hogger on the board anymore and no Eliza in sight, this might be it for blue.
Yeah, and this board doesn't look too bad, honestly, for blue.
No,
He
these
might
salties are going to carry through.
He might, yeah. This is looking very
that's
strong.
a beautiful hit on the side of FBM.
And the boat comes out.
And we do not see an Eliza. We see some pretty mediocre pirates, and I think
Yeah,
I don't
this
think
turned,
this salty looter.
turned real bad for. This is turning pretty bad. Yeah,
there it is.
Blue's out. It looked okay. The win percentage was pretty high, but a couple of bad hits just kind of put him in a bad spot, and blue ends up going out in 7th. So beautiful time to transition to who Corden is watching.
We are sitting on riots.
Nice.
Currently going for a nice Quillbore, as you do on tests. Just got smacked and set to 1 health, so there's really no room for error here on Riot's part, but did just go up against Blackthorn. So is now going to be able to actually rolled into Blackthorn's Quillbore board and was able to triple the dynamic duo. So still playing around with the blood gems, and I love the captain here. Captain Flat Tusk is so insane late game. The amount of blood gems in the hand right now. This pivot might be a little bit too late though for Riots to be buffing up the Bristleback Knight. You've got a pretty weak bonk as well. Your really biggest carry in this sense is the dynamic duo. And I just don't think they're going to be able to carry you to victory at this rate. A 50-48, it might kill 1 or 2 minions, but if we're going into a Quillbore, which we are into FBM2, it's probably going to be met by just as big of a minion with most likely Divine Shield on it.
Yeah.
And yes, we do. Ooh, even a poison on the other side. Oh, favorable hits. Actually, this Troublemaker, or that dynamic duo putting in work here, Riots is going to take this one.
Oh, nice.
Very nice. By his skin of his teeth, pushing 10 to FBM2.
Dang.
And I mean, that Troublemaker is just going, or Troublemaker, I don't know why. It reminds me of the card Troublemaker from Standard, but it is the dynamic duo. I just think of a big guy summoning 2 things and just like charging with the photo art. I don't know why. So Riots is going to utilize that hero power, does find a triple in bonk. I mean, this is really where Tess comes alive and is just able to roll specifically for what they want and then just reap all the benefits. I would really love to see getting rid of this ground shaker here. At this point, giving +2 attack to your minions is pretty negligible with the blood gems that you have in hand. And I'd really either love to see the beast, the great beast, or the Sharval. Yeah, Shargal is really good as well. Going to be able to buff the board, so your dynamic duo actually gets an insane amount of buffs, and Riot has to be very careful here. Does sell the double Captain Flat Tusk, so yeah, going to pivot into Chargal, going to pivot into the Great Beast and slap some hot 2/2 buffs across the board.
Yep. I I was spectating Andraste, and he got taken out the prior round by Rice Bowl.
Yeah, that's the ghost board we're coming into now. So I mean, Riot's again does have to be careful. It's a prior. Andraste had a very strong, I believe, demon board maybe, or a quill board / demon with those Velweavers last we saw. So we'll have to see how it goes because I mean, Riot's rolled down into some pretty smaller minions here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but look at that 9490, like that's
so
big.
The demons have been gone from Andraste's board, it seems, for a while, and this is smelling all Riots at the moment. Going to be able to generate probably the full 8 off of this bonk. Just gets the 6. But can't even get through this big dynamic duo. Very nice.
And it looks like Jump Float just took out Rice Bowl. So
indeed, actually 2 people going out. Rice
so
Bowl
Rice
gets
is just
knocked.
holding on by the skin of his teeth at one, but his board is comparable to what I'm seeing, like especially to what I'm seeing like from like Jump Float.
Well,
they're actually about to go, and they're going head to head next round. So
they are. Jump Float is on a 4-game win streak at this point right now. So
yeah,
it's going to be an extremely difficult match.
Agam.
Oh yeah, +3,
in a golden Charlie.
Keep them coming.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there we go. Get rid of that 10-6 boar and slap Charlie down. See what you get.
Yep.
I even don't mind getting rid of the banner boar. It does add, technically it adds 8 to the board because, it plays 8. It plays 4 blood gems, but because of dynamic duo, it technically plays 8. But because of the beast, it's times that by 2. So
yeah.
it's actually an extremely at this rate, I don't think we're really looking for that. You just taking us. Yeah, you take it just to take it, but
sure. I was saying you might just take it for the. You might even just like decide, maybe boat, but.
So this is going to be a ton of like this board is about to explode off the Yat. Chargol and the Beast are insane together. Yeah, Riots is extremely strong right now.
Yeah, I think this is almost this is very high likelihood of a lethal here.
Yeah, there are Murlocs in the board still, so we could see somebody roll Murlocs and do a very strong job.
Everyone has Quillboars though, so
they do, but I mean it's not unheard of for someone to sell. No,
they have like some odd amount of time to find a bunch of poisons.
Well, Jump Float now has the information because I think depending on so Jump Float gets the ghost here. So Jump Float has the information of everyone's playing Quillboars. Mm-hmm. Do I want to now sell, my 60/60 isn't getting through the 132, 134. Do I just need to replace that with poison? Which I think if anybody wants to have a chance right now, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, it has to be offered it, of course.
All right, next turn we'll go over to Fish.
Okay. Yeah, it's very likely Jump Float survives because he's going against the ghost of Rice Bowl. But at the same time, I don't know how strong Rice Bowl was when he went out. So, and he took 19 from Jump Float from his present board. So,
yeah, probably okay.
Probably gonna be quite okay here, sitting with.
So on Riot's side of things, who we're still on right now, I think just buying everything on this board you can see is fine to hold on. But what you have to be careful of is actually hand size issues. I know a lot of people don't expect it in Battlegrounds, but it's just like Standard or Wild. You're only allowed 10 cards in your hand. So whether that be 10 blood gems or 10 minions, you're only allowed that finite amount. So
we're gonna start popping these down. Yeah, he's got to really got to get these blood gems out. Misses a few, but that's okay because he should survive to the next turn to do more.
Pretty strong here. So FBM2 did roll into that poison Amalgadon or made it that way, but actually has a pretty thick dynamic duo of his own. So
Yeah,
this is kind of going to come down to big guy versus big guy.
Yeah,
And
and
survives.
survives it. Yep, for sure. And
That's what I
jump.
notice a lot about Quillbores is everyone goes a very similar build. So there are a lot of ties.
Agreed. Yeah.
All right, we will fire over to Jump Float's board now, who will be going up against FBM2 as Riot is going to have the ghost this round. So I'm going to stick on Riots for when we come back, just because I think it'll be Riots versus whoever the winner of this one coming out is right now.
I agree. Does get offered the flat tusk, could go for it. Not sure if that's exactly what Riot's what Jump Float wants, but he does go for it. He will get the blood gem there.
It's all about generating resources right now.
Yeah,
the more blood gems you generate, the better you make your chances. So getting an additional blood gem for buying something, especially having pirates in right now, which is just literally free 2 blood gems, is insane. And
yeah,
double
the blood
beast,
gem's giving +3/+3 is so good. Even can throw the looter in just to sell in case.
Ooh, I do like buying them. Oh, I was gonna say I do like buying the Murloc and holding on to it, but goes for the taunt minion, I guess, to give a little extra time.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's just because there wasn't a lot of time to decide and pick the first thing they wanted. Which having this is okay, but we see the adjustment by FBM2 to put a couple of poisons in.
There it is. That
should give him the advantage in this. Because these poisons can hit something big. Like these minions are all. Yeah. There's no way. This is goodbye the jump float here. It's gonna be Riots versus FBM2. So we could just hop over to maybe hop back to you for the rest of it then.
Yeah, for sure. So Riots is, head down, going the same direction. Has found a second golden dynamic duo, as you do with Tess, because when you re-roll a full board of Quillbores, you tend to get a lot of triples. Riots is running into a little hand position or hand issue with all these blood gems right now, but we did see very recently, there's a poison. I might grab that.
I would.
And sell the 10/10, because we did see FBM2 was doing the correct pivots and found a way to fit a poison into the build. So, I mean, it doesn't matter how big you make your dynamic duo, a poison 1/1 just takes it down.
I think he's considering he takes it
good
play. Good play. Has a lot of things to buff up these minions, give him attack. I might even throw a blood gem on that minion itself, but we're just gonna throw it all on the what looks like
it's dead. Board. Yeah, there's no amount of health you can give that poison minion to survive.
Sure. This looks so funny. It's a 21-3.
Oh, this is right down the middle. Oh, he rolled the golden divine shield. The poison got divine shield. It's gonna value trade. Oh my goodness, it value traded the biggest.
Wow.
Oh man.
Oh, this is spicy.
That's it. Wow. FBM2 with a big brain play. Pivots the Murlocs, finds the Divine Shield, as you do in the late game, and takes Riots down, who was a favorite from probably the early turns. Wow.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. Extremely good. So, with that, we actually saw, Zorelia getting 1, so that's Phantom Force. You then see Riots getting 2, and that's Bob's Babes. Those are the teams fighting. So they're coming out swinging. Awesome. That was wicked. Just goes to show, the Quillbores are great, but Poison Man and being a player who it's so difficult to make the decision to sell off a a 60-60 to put in a 5-5 or a 1-1 poison, but it just gets the job done. So congratulations to Zarellia FBM2 for getting that done and being able to pivot that last second, finding the Divine Shields, and not only that, a little RNG help from Bob himself in giving the Divine Shield to the poison.
Mm-hmm. All right, just going to get a quick restart from Andraste, and then we're going to get right into the next one, I would assume.
Sometimes there's a 5-minute break. Yeah, you need to restart. So it's a good time if you guys want to take a quick second, grab a drink, grab some water, grab whatever you want. Do a little 5-minute stretch. I like to stretch a little bit out because I get way too balled up in these positions. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I feel you. For sure. Players are. Yeah, people are just doing client restarts. I know.
Yeah.
One of the players is on a bit of a tight schedule, so I figured that they're going to try and start as soon as possible for the second lobby. These lobbies are going this lobby went pretty fast comparatively to like what we've seen from past weeks.
Billboards kill people.
They do kill people, indeed.
So just a quick rundown while we are waiting for some restarts of the game. So you've got Steffi coming in 8, Blue Sombrero coming in at 7, Andraste 6, Lemur 5, Rice Bowl 4, Jump Float 3, Riots as a 2, and Zarellia coming in as the number 1 winner of that lobby. So some pretty strong, and I mean Zarellia and Rice Bowl getting 1 and 4. Phantom Force is fighting right back, really, and Sombrero getting a 7 and Lemur getting a 5. I mean, that gives these bottom 2 teams the space they might need to catch up.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see what they look like. I mean, there still is the Sunday stream that is done by Blue and Steffi, so we'll have to see how that goes. And we'll see what their teams look like after tonight and what the playoff standings are looking like. There are some very strong people Sunday. Not taking anything away from Friday, because there are some extremely strong people in Friday right now. But I mean, Pocky, I think Pocky and Fire Emblems are the top performers for their teams right now. Outside of, I mean, Hapa and Swaybe getting that invitational invite, so that's really cool there. Definitely to be like seeing Itachi at 61 makes my brain explode because Itachi was so consistent in the early game. So it's just going to be insane, the Sunday lobby. It's all up in the air, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
All right, I think we are just about ready to get back in there.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna go back to spectating FBM2 as we spectated, as I didn't get to spectate him, get him on the stream. Oh, I'm getting the stupid spectator bug.
All right, we are in on Steffi at the moment. Steffi choosing to go with George. I wasn't able to see if Murlocs were available, so real quick, I'm going to check if they are. And if Steffi can hit it, yes, Murlocs are available.
Yeah. I was going to say, I would hope Steffi didn't pick George without Murlocs.
Oh, I think it's still fine. Being able to value trade a Quillbore for Quillbore is still completely fine. So right off the top, I'm just going to rip down Steffi on George the Fallen, FBM2 on Alakir, Rice Bowl on Captain Hook Tusk, THL Lemur on Blackthorn, Jump Float on Cthulhu, Blue Sombrero on Millhouse Manastorm, Andraste on Silas Darkmoon, and Riots on Omu. We are not going to be seeing any demons, mechs, or dragons.
Yes. This is so interesting. These are like, so many of these heroes are like the best that you can get for heroes. Like, most of these are all top 10 hero choices, so it's going to be so interesting to see how this plays out. And I do think that if Steffi survives, she's going to be pretty dangerous this game. If we're going to see a lobby where, like, where like most people are forcing Quilboars completely, but I don't know if that's what everyone's gonna. I don't know if it's gonna be an auto force from these players, but it'll definitely be interesting.
I mean, it's very tough to not force Quilboars. Not only is it the fresh new thing, it's also really good. I mean,
It's
just
OP,
win.
Yeah, you're just OP.
Yeah,
It's just OP, like you said.
Yeah, but as you said, I mean, we do have, like, right off the bat, if I sort off of HS Replay, we've got Cthulhu, we've got Omu, we've got Blackthorn, we've got Alakir, we've got Hooktusk. We've literally got the top five average placement heroes in this match right now.
Yes. And everyone in here, maybe outside of Silas, is tier 1 or 2.
I would disagree, man. Silas is definitely up there. Silas.
I'm not looking at the tier. So is Silas in tier 2?
Oh, for sure. I don't even need to look at the tier. Anybody who has like the tickets for Silas.
No, he is. I have no clue.
Yeah, no, he just has such a. It's again when I was talking to earlier on about like being able to abuse the gold system, and Silas essentially has.
So good at that.
He has a pseudo triple, right? So
yes,
Silas's hero power, for those who don't know, is very similar to Kel'Thas when we were spectating last game. Is when you buy 3 minions, something happens. But with Silas, you buy 3 minions that have tickets on them. And once you buy 3 minions with tickets, you are able to discover a tavern or a minion from your tavern tier. So it's very, very much like tripling something, except you don't go up a tavern, you stay a tavern. So being able to go to, like, let's say Tavern 3, which I think has the most Quilboars sitting in it. I think it has about 4 or 5 Quilboars. If you can get to 3 and then just buy a bunch of tickets and be able to stack Quilboars early on, it's going to be pretty insane.
Yep. Yeah.
We do see Steffi in the early on here is going for a Murloc build, it seems, freezing the other Tidecaller there. So might just be forcing in a poison Murloc build right off the bat. But I don't know if you want to push that so hard right off the bat. You could definitely lose yourself in these, shout out to Eminem, in these matchups.
Shoutouts.
Off to a decent start. Blackthorn is going to be able to hit her over the top of 6 here. Not the worst, but see what happens now. A lot of people are probably just going to be going up to Tavern 3 here, and buying is typically what you see on turn 5 with 7 mana. If you haven't done anything too funky, Tavern up and buy is typically the way to go.
Yeah. I'm wondering... Yeah, I know the person I'm spectating went to tier 3 last round, or a couple of rounds ago.
Yeah, it's not unheard of. It's just the typical thing. And as I say that, of course, literally nobody else does. So, you know, that's everyone showing me. I guess that's why I'm not in playoffs and they are.
I mean, Alakir is at tier 4 now. They've had their power leveling.
Yeah, I mean, Alakir is one of those heroes that if you just get a decently statted minion early on, you're able to give it Divine Shield, Wind Fury, Taunt. You just kind of carry yourself through the early game, and then you can drag yourself through the mid game, able to find a high value 4-drop. Both those hits actually not going very well for Steffi. And it's probably going to take another L here. See if she can. No, doesn't clean up the board too much more. It's going to take an additional 7 here from her casting compadre, Blue Sombrero.
Nope. Blue liking his Pirates. He was Patches last game, went Pirates. He's Millhouse this game with majority Pirates. Currently, obviously, this is just the early game, so it's not like he can't transition into a different type of board.
Yeah, Millhouse does well with Pirates because of the tavern. Like, Pirates kind of cheat a lot of stuff. They cheat tavern tiers and they also cheat gold. So with Millhouse being able to, so Millhouse hero power, you buy minions for 2, you reroll for 2, and your Tavern Up costs 1 more. So when you go Pirates has a specific deck swabby that discounts your Tavern tier. So really, that passive doesn't matter because if you're buying those for 2 and then selling them, you're essentially gaining or just buying for 1 gold, and you're actually discounting your Tavern tier. Then if you can find a Hogger early on enough, it's literally just free, especially if you can pair that with the the Sea Booty, which is the, when you sell it, give 3 gold. That's literally plus 1 gold for Millhouse. Ooh, these trades at the end are going to be very key.
And Steffi takes it.
Yeah, FBM just doesn't quite make it, and Steffi a bit of a nice there, able to skid through 1 more round without taking damage, and is getting to that slower point of where Murlocs are going to have to start finding their bigger. Like, she's going to have to find a triple here, but if she does, oh wow! And as I say it, 2 pop up on the board. Now you could triple 1 here. I don't mind that. But you probably want to freeze the other one and Tavern Up next turn to try and find Bran.
Agreed.
Let's see. Drum roll. Toxfin. Wow.
Huge.
Game over. Get rid of that Quillbore. You're not a Quillbore gamer. I guess you do have the double of it, so maybe don't get rid of it. Yeah, give it to that guy. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So I'd expect a freeze and just a hero power from Steffi here, but I was gonna sell and
No, buys the Felfin Navigator.
I like holding it because if you're going for Bran, you do that next turn.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're too worried about taking too much more damage right off the bat. I think you want this Poison Murloc first. Yeah, perfect. All right, with that big explosive turn, still kind of a right down the middle. We do have Death Rattles, and those are always terrifying to see because they can really just sneak out. Does get the poison trade into the Divine Shield. Not a full board reset. Let's see what this rat gets us. Additional 3/3s. Oh, that's 5 across the board. That might spell disaster. Let's see if we can trade off some of these smaller minions. We can. It's going to come down as a tie. No, it's a win for Steffi.
Yeah. Oh, meanwhile, FBM2 actually taking the first health points off of Millhouse.
All right, taverning up like I like to see. Let's see what this old Murk-Eye can discover us. We're fingers crossed for Bran. We do not, but we do get the Great Boar, but we don't have any Blood Gem activators. So personally, unless you plan on building a Blood Gem activator, I'm not invested in the Great Boar. I'd really like to see the Bristleback or the Ironhide. I think Bristleback has a bit more to it. I don't think the Ironhide is ever getting the overkill off.
Yeah, agreed.
It's a tough decision because the Blood Gems are a very massive part. Does take the Bristleback. I do like that call. I think it's a safer one for sure. You're not worried about having to now pivot into like a Blood Gem generator because it's great if you can get those minions, but if you just have no ways to get Blood Gems, you just die. Your board is just there.
Yeah.
All right. I think we'll watch this probably one more time and then switch over, Saku.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Let's see. Steffi is going to be coming in a jump float. She's got the Poison Murloc, and I mean, Cthulhu likes big minions. Let's see what we have. And those are big minions. And this Poison's going to be able to trade over. And that's the Divine Shield. I mean, that Wind Fury coming through already.
Yeah, but Steffi's board is just
pushing a little extra damage, keeping the Toxfin on the board as well.
Yeah.
Nice. Cthulhu going down to 11, and we do see Riots on Omu knocked out.
Dang.
So maybe got a little too greedy on Omu. It's a tough one. Omu is a very specific hero, and in these lobbies, like I said earlier, I don't think Omu performed extremely well.
Yeah, I would tend to agree.
Ooh, we do have Blood Gems now.
We're switched over to FBM and Fish.
Yeah.
FBM2.
So he has kind of a menagerie comp going, but no real. It feels like just trying to do as much as. Feels like FBM2 is trying to do as much as they can to. Now he's gonna go for the poison Murloc. He's there. A lot of players are gonna be doing this type of play, and I think even picking up this 4/7, the bonker, is gonna be pretty good. Being able to sell off the token and just poison the 2/1 is nice. I would say get rid of the forging here. I think you can go for you can go for that with bonker. Ended up selling off the Toxfin instead. I guess keeping the 1/7 is pretty okay when you have it's pretty okay when you have the 1/7 that'll get potentially buffed a little bit. I don't know. Having a 1/7 with Divine Shield better than 1/2.
It's just gonna buff itself, so it's gonna be able to poke, and then it's a 3/7 after that, right?
Yep.
And actually, it's going to be more because the Savannah High Main right off the kick is going to get a Divine Shield and able to run in. So it's actually going to be a 3/7 Divine Shield coming into a 5/7 once it pops. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nothing too crazy here. That poison sitting all the way at the back is pretty interesting, I find.
I wonder if there just wasn't enough time to
maybe, yeah.
The poison sitting for jump float too is going to come into play here. Does take out the Mithrax.
Yeah, that poison being sitting so far back most likely lost FBM2 that round.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think getting rid of one of those other ones, getting rid of one of those other big taunts in there would have helped a lot.
Oh yeah,
obviously having an Arms of the Empire comp is good right now, but for his opponent, which was Cthulhu, so that is jump float.
Yeah, it was jump float. So FBM2 looking to go Menagerie. And I think Menagerie is where Quilboars shine the strongest, which is very strange to say. And I don't even think Mithrax is part of that comp, as crazy as it seems. I think Mithrax gets you.
Generally not, because you're running like 3 Quilboars in the comp, which means it's it's quite a good comp.
Yeah. The biggest thing is finding Agam, which Agam is a 5-tier minion, which when you play a Blood Gem on that minion, your entire board gets +1/+1. So it's essentially a baby Light Fang. The Great Boar is an interesting pickup, but I don't know if we want to grab it. We are going to freeze for it, it looks like. So he does recover from his last positioning and is going to put his Murloc first, which I love because now it's going to be able to trade over twice into 2 things. But provided there's not Divine Shield on the other side, as I was going to say, but that is going to be
needed, and Steffi's got a really good board here. Yeah, this looks super good for Steffi. I think at this point, it's just going to be depending on how much damage she can get out of this, essentially.
He does have some low-tiered minions. If that Bristleback Knight can be cleared off, there goes the Knight, and I think, so still alive is FBM2.
Yeah.
But just hanging on by the skin of his teeth there, and we are going to see a knockout, I believe.
Yep, jump float, or Andraste got knocked out by Hook Tusk. So
Andraste getting dropped on Silas.
Yeah, we're seeing there's a Light Fang, so I think you at this point in the comp,
you want to get rid of that Ground Shaker. Trust. That Ground Shaker is.
I don't care too much about the Ground Shaker more than I want to get rid of this Bolvar. Like, at least for now. At least I think that's a better play.
Rolls past
personally.
The Light Fang.
Some of these rolls are I think this feels like a bit of over reliance on Gonna buff up this poison. Gonna buff up the Bolvar. But
Yeah, no, those rolls were
Yeah.
definitely to find the Agam, trying to push
Sure.
through. Ooh, this is if this Murloc hits well, it does.
It did hit pretty well. But
Oh,
pretty
taunt
decent
on the
finds
other
there
side.
for Lemur.
Yeah, Death Rattle's going to be pretty awful for FBM2 if they pop off, and another taunt is going to actually Bonkers is going to survive. It's a favorable trade, but it's not looking very good for FBM2 in this spot. The Highmane comes in, 2 Hyenas come out, but that speaks disaster.
Could have potentially traded off with that next 2/2 and taken a little less, but it wouldn't have mattered because any damage taken with Death Speaker at tier 5, that was an automatic knockout.
Yeah, we do see 2 drop there. FBM2 drops and jump float.
So tying 5th, 6th, that's really the bounty hunters taking quite a not a great lobby for their placements. They both went out before top 4.
Yeah, and so your final 4 are going to be Steffi, Rice Bowl, Lemur, and Blue Sombrero. So
F2L Silver is putting up some points.
Yeah.
Steffi's holding on. Steffi's holding on to that top spot right now, health wise, with Blue and Lemur sitting on the edge, and I think Blue and Lemur will probably be playing each other. So I'm interested to see what happens. If somebody's just quite stronger than the other, it might unfortunately just almost end up going to be where one of them ends up losing.
They die here.
Yeah, I
someone
swapped to
dies.
Rice Bowl. Yeah, I think someone dies there. Unfortunately, unless their boards are like super similar, but my guess is they're probably not.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take a lot for them. I mean, Blue's sitting on 7 health and Lemur's on 14, but we are on Rice Bowl. Steffi right now does tech that hot ghoul. I really like that from Rice Bowl. Knew how he needed to get through that and is able to rip off those divine shields and gets more divine shields.
But the poison dies.
It got hit. It doesn't matter. If it hits, okay, I was going to say, if it hits to 23, then...
I was going to say, if it hits to 23, yeah, then it's definitely a win. But right now, it looks like it's going to be a tie. So, Steffi and Rice Bowl both preserve health.
Oh my goodness.
So, very interesting. And Blue is the one who lost.
Yeah, Blue actually, I was spectating Blue's board and just got hit. The last minion on the board was a T5, and it put over the top.
Dang, unfortunate. Yeah. So I'm on Rice Bowl. I don't know. Are you? I'm guessing you're spectating me because
I'm gonna jump into Steffi.
Got knocked out.
Yeah. Well, I was kind of flipping in between both Ford and you because.
Okay.
Once who was it? Gosh.
FBM2
passed, get killed, then...
Yeah, then the next game, and then after that, everyone's going to be someone gets...
Yeah, switched over to
killed.
Gordon, who was on Blue, and then he got murdered.
Blue got smacked.
Yep.
Yeah. Now we're on
Rice.
We're spectating Rice Bowl right now.
Yeah, so Rice Bowl's sitting with double gas coilers and a golden, and a pair in the shop with a... Gonna freeze for that. Gonna decide where to put his... things. Sorry, his blood gems. Has another tavern goer actually, so quite interesting. Wouldn't necessarily have to sell for the or have to buy the other coiler, but gonna do it because it's just it's pretty optimal to do so.
Yeah, he wants to do it because it frees up the board and gives him a slot to then able to play that tavern goer, right? He doesn't have to sell something needlessly.
Yeah,
he can just buy and then do something.
Not it right now for the hook test. Does get a couple decent ones here with some tokens.
Yeah, I mean his board's too big.
Yeah, his 58 attacker will be the difference here to not die, but. man. If
It's getting out of
if that
control.
hits, it's gonna hit into it. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Rice Bowl's gonna die, but Rice Bowl's taking damage.
Oh yeah, he's taking damage. That is.
Yeah, Blue had a strong board. Just unfortunately had to go against his teammate, who probably also has a very strong board. We'll see how him versus Steffi went. It looks like they tied.
Yeah, right down.
Steffi with a double tie.
Yeah, right down the middle. So let's stick on Rice Bowl here because Steffi is getting the ghost.
Does get Eliza, Charlie, and Flat Tusk. Yeah, gonna take the Charlga. And gets and finds Agamagam, so we could.
You get rid of the Flat Tusk now, and
you could transition here.
Yeah, no, you get rid of Flat Tusk, it's gone, and you go for the Boar, and you go for the Charlga, hands down.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's so insane being able to buff your board with basically 2 blood gems with the Charlga and Beast comp, and you already have the poison in hand. You get that poison to be able to trade twice. And it's going to be pretty crazy.
I'm sure we're going to see something like that being played on the board. There is actually enough board space where you don't have to sell off the Flat Tusk either.
He needs to start playing some stuff. Okay, gets it out. I do like to see if we start buying these Divine Shields.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I like activating the Divine Shield because it's going to get a Divine Shield from Charlga. I would have liked to see something like the Poison get buffed here.
It's still a +2/+2.
I understand.
The poison's going to die at 13 health regardless until it beefs itself up.
Yeah, but the faster you can get it beefed up, it might be able to survive.
Double Divine Shield for the side of THL Lemur.
Yeah, that's a pretty good buy. Oh, unfortunately, it hits that.
Divine Shield.
He gets an Arcane Assistant, which, we'll just buff up the Amalgadon sitting. No, the Amalgadon's in hand because that also came from a Ginny. So this does look like a win for Rice Bowl for the round.
Up 6 there.
Yeah, that's a lead.
That's going to be it.
Lemur and Blue going out 3rd, 4th for F2L Silver. Very strong showing in game 2 for these players. Now we get Rice Bowl and Steffi head to head.
So Rice Bowl had the play last time, and it was Ghoul. Since then, he has sold Ghoul. I will be very interested, and it is going to be a necessity for him to roll into Ghoul. And if he does not, I don't think he's going to make it.
So he gets to the Golden Selfless.
He is going for the Golden Selfless. It is going to be good enough, but I don't think without them being poison and the Murloc board that Steffi is going to have, it doesn't matter how big your guys are. It's just going to matter the value trades. Does this get poison?
Doesn't get a poison, so that's just a sell.
Later.
That's just a sell, yeah. Has enough to... Oh, no, it has a Ghoul in hand.
Does have,
Rice Bowl has a Ghoul in hand.
Did pick it up, so that's what we're going to be ending on here.
Yeah.
Slap of it down.
So, yeah, going to play Arcane Assistant.
Whoa, you are playing with fire here, my friend.
He'll get it off.
Ooh. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter what you think. Just got something. I don't know if I don't think that was necessarily picked. But Steffi has 5 poisons with Divine Shield.
Yeah, but that Ghoul is gonna wreck it.
The Ghoul just takes them all out. But
and here's the shot.
Yeah, this it's
these poisons are being
my thing is showing me that it's not going to be a lethal, but I don't know. This triggers well. It could be a lethal.
That's it. That's game.
That's it. Wow. What? 3 Goldrins? Oh my gosh.
He just said
that's the most horrible way to lose. I feel so bad for Steffi. His stats, it was a 3.5% lethal before that triggered. Like, there was no shot of a lethal. Like, it was going to win for Rice Bowl. Wow. Triple Goldrin.
I love it.
Wow.
I love it. That was hilarious. Never count out Gas Coiler, man. You've heard of boat scam? Let me talk to you about golden gas coiler scam. Wow.
Yeah, I thought the point. I mean, it was really well played. So, besides that hitting and actually being the way it ended, Rice Bowl just had the play. He knew what he had to do against the Poison Murlocs, which was play the ghoul in the comp, and it really paid off. So obviously the way the damage fell, very very RNG heavy, literally triple Goldran to end it. That was a lot of puppies, as was
That was
noted
great.
in the Battlegrounds chat. Yeah,
Crazy
that's
ending.
crazy. Yeah, great ending for super exciting matchup in there in the entire thing, like so cool.
All right.
Yeah, Rice Bowl came out swinging there. Got a first and a fourth now, so
Mhm.
I'm going to be excited come Sunday what these standings look like and what the teams, how close it's going to be that final push. F2L
Yeah.
didn't do amazingly. They did okay
They did
enough, but
they
it's
did
going to
they did
be
average really.
it's going to be interesting to see if they did enough to sustain those ankle biter teams in the third and fourth.
Yeah, I think as long as they stay even with what Phantom Force and Bob's Babes did, then they should be almost just completely fine. They might even overtake Bob's depending on how
Oh,
tomorrow depending on how Sunday goes.
maybe,
Is what I
but
mean. There's no way they pass him here.
that's a lot of points.
But Bob's also like Bob's Bounty Hunter did really good. It kind of did that F2L Silver where they had a really nice one lobby, but the other one was kind of bad for placements. And Silver and F2L also kind of did the same thing. So like I'm thinking they're gonna be very close to where the difference is now. And Steffi getting that second place was so huge because Riot's also got a second or a third. So
second, but then it pounded them both to
Yeah.
eighth the second games as well. So
exactly, yeah.
we'll have to see what happens come Sunday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. That pretty much wraps our evening up. So, any final words of encouragement for the players that are playing on Sunday, guys?
Right?
Don't play boars ever.
Quill
I
boars.
think you have to play boars, man. Like,
No, you don't have to play them at all.
Me wanting to be
I mean, if
quoting
you-
Illidan.
if you want eighth, you don't have to play them.
That's right.
It's
Yeah.
awkward, but I think Quillboars are going to be addressed. I think they're too strong right now. I think they're very
they'll be addressed in a couple of weeks, I think.
I think they're extremely polarizing. I think that they have brought fresh air to Battlegrounds and people are happy, but I think as time goes on, it's going to be very old seeing the same Quillbore after Quillbore after Quillbore winning, and it's really only the perfect boards can beat them. Like, you need to get perfect. Even Steffi, who went pretty much the Quillbore exact counter, got beat in the last round. Mind you, it was a bit of a high roll, but at the same time, she did lose that one match. So, that's Quillbores are crazy, man.
Yeah.
All right. You guys want to wave to all their THL fans out there? And we will see you guys tomorrow night there for Salty Saturday.
Yeah.
With Don Day and his team.
I will. If you are playing 10 p.m., please contact me. If you are playing tomorrow, Saturday, 10 p.m., and you want to be on stream, contact me. I am going to be doing Salty Saturday for the next 3 weeks as Don Day is taking some time away. So yeah, DM me if you have a match then. And otherwise, we do have one match already in store. So me and Isocles will be holding it down
with Myanodon and Mr. Python. Good job on Legacy. So it should be a good match to see.
Oh yeah,
my boy Python.
All right, gang. Good night from me to all of you. Be safe out there, and we will see you Saturday.
See ya.
Sociables.